What's going on, guys? Nick here. Today we're going to try something that I've never tried before, but it's something that I really want to do on this car. This is Vivid Taillight tint, or any kind of tint you can do for lighting. We're going to try to do it on these rear tails on this car. It's a light smoke, so I don't know how that's going to come out. I've also never done this before, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But we're going to try to put this on the car. I believe I'm going to pull the taillights out so that I don't have to try to jam my fingers and cut tint inside the car where there's paint and everything else. Plus the car's dirty, I could pull the taillights out and clean them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull the tails out, we're going to start cleaning them, and then we're going to try to apply this Vivid tint onto them and see how they turn out. Okay, so to get this part of the taillight out of the car, you're going to need to pull all of your plastic panels down off of here, here, and up here. They're all right here. They're all just pull clips. You just give them a little tug, don't pull on them too hard, and they'll come off without snapping. Once you do that, there are two bolts like this. There's two bolts like this that are right here on the car that hold the taillight in. So there's two of these that are 8 mils that hold on to the outside of the light right here. And there's also one 8 mil on the inside that's going to be up through this hole right there. And once you do that, pull the hatch down like this and just kind of put your hands right here and just give it a slight little tug, and the whole hat light will come out. That's over there. Now we have to remove this one. So far I have two of these bolts right here removed. They were 10 mils, and we're gonna see what else we have to do to get the rest of the light out, because it is pretty loose, so it should come out pretty easily within the next couple seconds. Once you get these two bolts out right here, all you have to do is grab the inside of the housing like so and just give it a slight tug like you did on this one, and then they both come out and we can start cleaning these. And like I said, I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to wrap these with the vinyl when they're removed from the car, so we can actually like tuck underneath and like cut everything nice. So we're going to see how this turns out. Like I said, if it's not that great, then we won't do it. We can just peel it off. But the car looks really funny without a light on this side. But we're going to see how it comes out. If it comes out nice, we're going to do this side too. Okay, now that these are nice and clean, use some isopropyl alcohol. Get them nice and clean, get all the contaminants off of them. We're going to let them dry, which alcohol dries really fast, which is why I used it. And then we're going to get some vinyl and try to... Vinyl's over there. We're going to get some vinyl and we're going to try to wrap these and see what happens. This part of it, I think I'm going to need to get a hairdryer, which I have electricity out here, but there's like a ridge here and then there's another one here, which kind of worries me that the vinyl's going to like bubble up there, so we're going to do that one second. We're going to do this one first. This one looks like it's going to come out pretty simple. Everything's nice and flat. So we're going to get some vinyl, cut it up, and wrap it, tuck everything nice underneath real nice, and see how this comes out. Alright guys, so I have one piece of the left side done. This is the stock side so that you get an idea of the difference of it. And this is the tinted side, which it looks so good. It's so much better than what it was. I just have to get the other side, the other piece here done. This vinyl actually works really well. It tucks under really nice, and I got pretty much all the bubbles out of it. I just have to like clean it now, but it comes out so nice. Go stand back here. It's such a difference. It looks so much better. But yeah, like I said, the vinyl tucks pretty nice. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it because of the sunlight is ridiculous here, but it tucks in pretty good, and we're gonna try to do this other piece. Like I said, on this piece I'm kind of worried about the two little humps that are here. You can see them right like that. That's the only piece that worries me right here on these taillights. We're going to see what happens. We're going to start from this end and kind of lay the vinyl over this way. But for my first time doing vinyl on taillights, that turned out pretty well. I don't have any bubbles and everything tucked in pretty nice. So we're going to see how this one goes here. Okay, so this side is done now. It does have some bubbles in it, which are not super noticeable, but it does have some. Though getting over those two little humps that the taillight has in it was a little bit difficult. but there are some bubbles in it. So we're gonna put this back into the car now, and everything's tucked over nice for the most part. This top part was fighting me a little bit, but that looks a lot better now. So there's only a couple tiny little imperfections in it. Not bad for my first time doing it. So we're gonna put this in the car and I'll show you guys what one side looks like versus the other. Okay, so this is the stock side and this is the tinted side, fully completed, and I think that looks awesome. There are a couple of imperfections like I said, but for my first time doing it, this isn't bad. I can also redo them at some point if I ever wanted to, now that I've tried it before. So I think we're gonna pull this side out now and do that one because this looks sweet. Okay, so this side is removed and cleaned. I'm going to try to explain how to do the vinyl on these pieces here, just so you get an idea of like what you're going to run into. When you're applying vinyl, the flatter the surface and the least amount of creases in it, the better. As you guys can see, this is like very flat. It's very plain. There's no indents or valleys or anything in it like this one has. So to apply the vinyl is super easy. Just set it down on the piece that you want to wrap it on, and you just kind of like push with your fingers to get all the air bubbles out, and then for the most part you won't have any problems with this piece. With this one, like I showed you on the other one, there are two little valleys that are in here which kind of make everything a little more difficult, and the piece itself is one giant curve, so that again makes everything a little bit more difficult. That's where a hairdryer comes into play, or a heat gun. You don't want to like heat the vinyl up so much that it starts melting, but you want to heat it up a decent amount, and then when you get to an area that's a little more difficult, you want to pull the vinyl, because if I grab this piece right here, it has some flex and pull to it, so you can kind of stretch it out, as you can see like I just did right there. Like the vinyl will stretch, and that's basically what you want to do when you get to an area like that, or else it's going to bubble up like crazy. So you kind of want to heat it up so that it's more pliable. Like this is cold, so this isn't really going to stretch as much or as easy, but if you take the hairdryer or the heat gun, hit it with this, and you can get it so that it stretches a little bit. You will run into these areas here, not as bad as you would without it, but there are some bubbles here. Like I said, I'm not perfect at this. This is my first time doing vinyl tint on anything, so I do have some errors and imperfections in it that can be redone at some other late time. But like I said, if I close this and you come up to this car and you don't really even take like a really good look at it, and you just kind of look at it from here, it looks pretty damn good. There aren't too many imperfections. This keeps bubbling up in here for some reason. I keep taking my credit card and like sliding it in there to kind of push down on it, but it keeps coming out. So like I said, I might have to redo this one at a later date, but as of right now it looks really good. So like when you're doing the pieces like I said that are really flat, they're super easy to do, but once you get to a piece like this and it's curved and has the valleys in it, you're going to want to use a heat gun, and you're going to want to pull the vinyl. It's kind of hard to, I have a tripod, but it's kind of hard to like film those areas when I'm holding the vinyl up, holding the tail light, and then pulling on it and stretching. So it makes it a little difficult to film, so I kind of want to try to explain it a little bit. Okay, we have this piece done. I did this one actually pretty quick because I said that it's pretty flat and there's not too many things that could go wrong with it. So I did this one in about 8 minutes and it came out really well. The tucking part in here is a little bit, could use a little bit more work, but that came out pretty well for doing it as fast as I did. Now I just have this one last piece to do, and hopefully I beat this rain that's supposed to be coming. So this is what it looks like at the moment. So this in a way will kind of show you guys what I've been doing here. So this part of the taillight is done. So I hold the vinyl with this hand, and this hand is the one that I use to push the vinyl down onto the light. And I also hold the taillight down like this, pull on the vinyl when I get to a spot that's tough, and kind of just push my fingers along as I'm pulling on the top part. So when you pull it like that, it stretches it out, and you can kind of disperse the vinyl where you want it to go without getting too many bubbles in it. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I'm not doing fantastic, but I'm not doing horrible. So I have 1, 2, 3 little bubbles that are up in this area where I got to the first hump in the light, which isn't all that bad. So that's basically what you're going to want to do when you get to that spot there. Just kind of pull on the vinyl and push your fingers along as you go. If you get to a bubble that you can't get out, pull the vinyl back up, pull on it a little harder, and then push as you go with your fingers. And it should get rid of the majority. I just got rid of like 3 bubbles doing that. So that's basically what you're going to want to do for the entire light. Like I said, the ones that are on the car that I already did, the flat ones, they're super easy. You lay the vinyl down. You literally rub on them a little bit to get the majority of the bubbles out, which you're really not going to get too many with it. You get good vinyl like this. Again, this is Vivid vinyl. It was $16 for 2 rolls of it on Amazon, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's so easy to use. But I'm going to finish doing this light now that I showed you guys a little bit of what you have to do. Okay, this taillight is completely done. All you have to do now is trim the vinyl and tuck it. I kind of leave like a ½ inch or so, maybe like a quarter to a ½ inch of vinyl when I cut this so that I can tuck it. And then at the corners, if you slit the corner here, you can fold the pieces over each other so that it looks a little bit more clean. This taillight I did a lot better on than the other one. There's a couple bubbles you could see, but it's honestly not bad. I kind of rushed this one a little bit because it looks like it's about to rain. So I've been trying to get this one done really fast. That whole side on that car took me, on this side, took like an hour and a half to like 2 hours. I've been doing this for, oh shit, what time is it? I've only been doing this for an hour. So I've been kind of going like crazy on this one. Actually, it's been a little less than an hour, but I'm going to trim this up, fold over all the vinyl that's sticking out, and then put it back in the car, and then we will be done. Okay, I had to switch over to my phone, but this taillight is done now. Everything's tucked beautifully. As best as I could do on it. Everything's tucked pretty good. We're gonna put this taillight back into the car now, and then we will be good to go. Yeah, the camera died, so we're gonna use my phone for the rest of it. Alright guys, this is the finished product of the tinted taillights on the WRX. So much better than what it was. We'll get a little bit back here so you can see how much darker it is. If you compare it to the BRZ taillights, it's a little bit lighter than those, but it's a lot better than what these originally were. So, alright guys, so that's how you tint taillights with vinyl on pretty much any car this will work for a tutorial. Depends on how difficult the sections are on your light that you're going to need to use either more heat or pull the vinyl a little bit, but this came out pretty good. This side is definitely better than the other side. The other side was my first trial at it, and the top is a little bubbly up here, but I keep trying to push it down, but I think I'm going to put a little bit of heat to it and see what happens. But yeah, so this is how you do taillight tint on a Subaru WRX hatchback. But this tutorial will pretty much work on any car if you get vinyl to do your taillights. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about the video, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.